one of the worst teachings that people have believed is a false understanding, a deficient understanding of what it means to be justified by faith in Jesus. And this has brought about lots of issues in the broader Christian world and has brought a lot of spiritual decay to the Christian world in general. Because we, as Christians, are saved by faith. And the broader Christian world will say, well, that just means you have to believe that Jesus is the Son of God and that he died for your sins and rose from the grave, and that all you have to do is believe in him, and then your sins will be washed away. Well, what does it mean that you believe in him anyway, in that definition? Like, do you just agree, like, mentally with those facts? Is it something else that you're supposed to do? And it's different than works. They make sure to differentiate, because we are not justified by works. We are justified by faith, as something they get from the Apostle Paul especially. But the problem with that is, one, whenever Paul opposes the law, or opposes works and faith, it's talking about the works of the law as sufficient to add anything to our salvation. And the old covenant is not of any value as a covenant anymore, because our new covenant is established through Jesus. And our allegiance to God, our covenant allegiance to God, is now through Christ. And I already gave away a little bit of what I'm going to talk about here, and that is that allegiance is a better understanding of what salvation and the gospel is all about. So I read this book a while back called Salvation by Allegiance Alone by Matthew Bates, and I want to read it again. And in this book, he argues that allegiance is a better concept and a better rendering of the Greek word pistis, which we often translate as faith in our Bibles. And there's great textual and linguistic evidence for that too, and I think he makes a very, very strong case for it throughout his work. And it helps get rid of a lot of the issues that arise out of obedience and faith, and the tension that we feel in very modern categories of how we are justified by faith and not by works of obedience and of ourselves. And so, to give just a statement, is that whenever you read about faith, especially in Paul's letters, try to substitute the word allegiance or give allegiance in the verb form for that. Sometimes we are justified by the allegiance of Jesus the Christ. Other times it is by our allegiance to Christ that we are justified. And so we need to see our life, the Christian life and salvation, as through allegiance alone. Servant-minded loyalty to the one true King of the entire universe. That is where our safety lies. That is where our covenant is established, is in and through him. And so we must be loyal to him as his disciples and people who are a part of his body. And so I hope that this helps you to see life in a different way. Not life as just saying the Christian life is just, I have to believe this and I'm good to go, but life as true dedicated loyalty to Jesus as his disciple. And as we see, that is not something that is to be taken lightly, something that you just can do easily on a whim. It's something that you must dedicate your whole entire life to.